Good morning, and here
Here
we go.
Convenience. I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen.
Oh man, hello. I just realized I forgot to check for my eye crusties, which there are. That's nice. Good morning.
morning.
Our first morning pod. What a banger!
Oh,
It
it
took us 15 minutes to figure out why the mics aren't working. My
starting off
mic isn't working.
real well.
Yeah. Whew, I can tell. You guys, comment section, I haven't moisturized today. You can see.
I have.
You have?
I
Oh
have.
my gosh.
That includes the face and the skull.
Oh,
You have to moisturize when you're bald. You have to have a fresh shave, and then you have to apply the moisturizer.
wow. I have not facialed today. But in my
Huh.
defense,
Hmm.
I usually work at 1:30 to 10.
Okay.
So like 10:30 is basically my 6 a.m. But here I am. We're
I
giving it a go. I'm
I
still
work
waking up.
I work 9:30 to 6:30. Not an ideal time. I work on Central Standard Time. So Central Time is really kind of annoying, because then it's just an awkward time to be starting work on the East Coast, especially during the winter. Because by the time my day is done and I'm in my office here, if I go by sunlight, just by the evening, by the time my shift is done, it is completely black in my room. And I forgot to, oftentimes I will have forgotten to turn on the light to make it easier on myself.
That's such a bummer. Like I forgot about that, especially about being up in the Northeast. Like
Yeah.
in winter, once 5 o'clock comes, it's dark.
Yep.
Like really, like just dark.
Hello, sadness, hello, darkness, my old friend.
I know. And now I look outside, a nice snowy landscape. We got coated last night. We got blasted.
Yeah. just a coating of white as far as the eye can see.
Yeah. That's neat. I mean, it's almost March.
We hit mid 60s 2 days ago, and this morning when I went to the gym, it was 28.
Wow, you already went to the gym this morning.
I
Holy
did.
shit.
I know.
Are you a Planet Fitnesser, a Gold's Gymmer?
No, down here, I don't know how prominent it is in the country, but down here, one of the popular ones is not horribly popular, but Edge Fitness. They built one after the pandemic, but conveniently about a mile and a half up the street. What's cool about this gym, I will give it the big difference here is they have a cinema that's included. So literally you can go into the movie room and they show one movie every day on loop. And there's cardio equipment in there. So if you want to use ellipticals, bikes, treadmills, there's a room with like 30 of those and a massive movie screen. And they just play one movie per day on loop, and you can get the schedule so you know what days you want to go into the cinema.
Holy
if you
shit.
want. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So is it like studio grade sound or like movie
Yeah. Oh
theater
yeah.
sound?
It honestly,
Oh,
it really is a solid setup. Like it's not like a bootleg version or anything. It feels like you're in a theater. And I would say in general, it's a mix. I don't think they have a tendency one way or another, but they've run through all like Marvel movies. They go through classics of like 80s, 90s, 2000s. A lot of comedies, obviously, because those are easy, but they'll do some dramas and stuff like that. I think today I looked it up, which is odd, it was A Quiet Place, which might be the last thing I want to watch while trying to do cardio, because you're trying to pay attention to the dialogue and get invested. So in a silent movie, not the best option for when you're trying to do cardio and get through it.
I wonder if it's inspiring though to consider that I might have to run from like one of these things.
Oh, when the monsters
some kind of
eventually do
zombie-ish
happen.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Some kind
true.
of alien.
Right.
Like I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the slowest one here, kind of thing.
That's true, right? Yeah, I mean that's kind of a thing at the gym. No one wants to shame everyone, because good job for everyone for getting to the gym. But you look at people and you assess people at the gym, not necessarily on the physical aspects. It's more of like I wish you would try harder. I see you here a lot, person, and you seem to be walking around and kind of like humdrumming and really kind of like talking to people. I'm like, you don't seem to try that hard. Is everything all right? Like, I want to dig deeper.
Does anybody? I like watching online. There's this guy who shames gym shamers. So he's like
Shame
next level. So
shamers. Okay.
he'll like he kind of goes at the people who use their Instagram and like film themselves, but make fun of the people in the background. Like, oh, this guy's definitely creeping on me, or look at this guy, he can barely push up this bar and watch me go pick it up. He's like, you can't be doing that, all right? The gym is for everybody, all right? You should be ashamed of yourself. And he's like this big jack dude, but he likes to get on the people who use their fitspiration to knock down other people, which I can kind of get behind. But have you ever been filmed, do you know, accidentally or on purpose
At the
at the
gym?
gym?
I
Yeah.
have not seen like, right. Obviously, reels and TikToks and stuff are filled with people working out. For whatever reason, they're filming stuff. Gym seems to be one of the most popular places to film.
Yeah.
I have not noticed anything. So let alone being actually in the background of anyone. I've never seen it at the gym.
There was in Austin, there was like kind of this couple. I wouldn't say they were friends per se, but they were in like a friend group, and they like got really into their
Of your
like
friends?
fitspiration. Yeah.
Oh, I
of
thought
my
you were just
friend
talking like
group.
two objective people. Like, and I don't
No,
know
I
if they
mean,
were
yeah,
friends,
not
but
they
they were
weren't
in a group. I'm like
they weren't
humans.
total strangers. Like I think we had hung out with them before, but once they become more like fitness influencers, we saw them less and less because they got really into their brand,
Oh, okay.
and that was like their whole life. But they were doing like gym videos and recording themselves, and their gym was like, "Hey, you guys can't do that. Like people don't want to be like in your videos." And they took to like social media to say that they were being quote unquote literally oppressed by
Ooh,
the gym.
oppressed? Are we
Yeah,
sure we
they
want
used
to
the
use
word
the word
oppressed. They
oppressed?
did. I think they
That's
wanted
got
to,
some
and they did.
connotations that like
I
I
know.
don't think you get to use that.
Yeah.
Why
A
don't you
couple
stick to like
pretty
the simple words like haters? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, that's an easy throwaway one. But yeah, oppression, that's
Yeah,
not
or
exactly
you
what
know.
we reserve that severity for.
That's the word said literally oppressed.
And they said
And I was like,
literally?
literally,
Oh,
said
which
the
is
words
even
literally
worse because
oppressed.
you
Yeah.
weren't literally oppressed. You were figuratively oppressed, I guess.
That's why if I've ever been a gym guy, I feel like once a year I'll
Matt's like,
join a gym.
Matt's like, if I ever get to the gym,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what kind of gym person
I
I'm gonna be.
paid so much money to Planet Fitness. And I've used their
Yeah.
gym like 12 times.
Man, I've been there. I've paid so much money to so many gyms, and I've gone on and off with my workouts. I would say I'm on a good stride right now, but it's tough. It really is a day-to-day thing. Like it's more of a thing where you can look back and go like, wow, I've done really well this month. You can't. I don't do well with setting goals for the month, and I thought that's what I would be good at, but it's just I try to remind myself that I do feel better every time I leave the gym. I feel good, and it does last the day. It can wake you up in the morning, and it can get you nice and tired if you work out at night to get ready to bed. I don't understand the science behind it, but it does work as a morning and evening activity. So I just try to remind myself of that stuff. And not
Yeah,
sweating when you go up a flight of stairs is pretty sweet.
I was probably in my best shape in like 2011,
Okay.
2012.
Okay.
I was doing
Recently
that every
removed?
morning. I'd get up, but it was the kind of energy you have when you're how old, like just mid to late 20s.
Late 20s. What a time
Where
to
I
be
would
alive.
Definitely party at night with my friends, drink beers, be up till like 1 a.m, but then get up at 6 to do a workout, and then go to work all day. Like I don't even know how. Now if I have like 3 beers, I'm
Yeah.
just terrible the next day.
Probably
like, I
not
gotta
able to
make sure I have
process anything till
coconut
noon.
water. Yeah, like I can barely walk the next day. Yeah, I just do I just got like the 20-pound dumbbells sitting right next to me, a little body weight workout, the yoga mat.
Okay.
I'm into the stretching now, the yoga.
That's huge, man. As we've revisited my back problems, stretching can be a major thing. Just staying limber. Have you ever tried yoga?
Yeah, I have.
So have I.
Actually, yeah. During that time, I would do yoga like at my work. They would have somebody come and do yoga from like noon to 1.
Which
So
work
we'd,
is
like
this?
change like gym class.
Is this at the liquor store? Did you do yoga at the liquor
Yeah, right,
store?
yeah.
You guys have a weird hybrid of.
We'd bring in mini goats, and yeah,
Okay.
that was at UT, the University of Texas.
Oh, okay.
So we were attached. Our building was attached to like a gym that we got access to, and then one of the conference rooms.
Mm.
Someone would come from. It's called Black Swan Yoga, which is like the cool yoga in town.
That sounds pretentious, but please continue.
Yeah. And but yeah, it was really good. I got into it for a while, and I was like, this shit works. So I don't do it as much. Like maybe I'll do it a couple times a month. I'll just go follow somebody's like YouTube video of it.
You got a
Yoga
mat?
with Adrian.
You got a mat, right? Matt have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mat? Okay.
yeah. It's rolled up back here. You
Yeah,
don't have
I
to
got
see it in
one.
the feed right now.
I got
but
my own yoga mat.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, very quality.
I did it at the gym, at my previous gym when it offered it, and I had that kind of upped membership that I could get the yoga classes included. Yeah, it was enjoyable. Wasn't easy, but you know, I was assured. I felt comfortable. I more or less I was probably in a class of like 15, and I'd be, you know, there's the concept of you're probably the one or two other guys at most.
Yeah.
But I don't care about that stuff. I would have absolutely been self-conscious about that shit in my 20s, but I'm old crickety. Like, I don't care if it makes me feel good. Like, let's give it a whirl. I'll take it. So I'd like to try hot yoga. That sounds terrible. To going back to like the one chip challenge. It's the one chip challenge of yoga. I'd like to do that hot yoga of like being like in a sauna while you're doing yoga.
Profusely sweating.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if there's science behind it, but I don't really care. I just want to try it so I can tell people on a podcast that I've done hot yoga.
So what kind of reps were you putting up this morning? What was the routine?
Doing cardio. I did 20 minutes on the elliptical. Usually try to up the resistance about 50%. And I'll do like a rolling hill formation as far as like the incline and resistance go. So I usually keep both incline and resistance from the 10 to 20 mark. And so I do high intensity for that. And then I did a mix of walking on a treadmill up an incline, look ma no hands, not holding on anything, at about like a 13% incline at 3 miles an hour, and then flattened it out and did like a jog for like a mile. So
I would like to do that. Like I like to do the elliptical and get it going, and then try for like a minute to do it with my eyes closed. I still feel like I'm gonna fall off.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's really hard to keep.
Yeah, I don't even like the arm ones. I have to have the ones where like you're kind of holding on to something, not for, you know, because the arm ones definitely, you know, are working you more because obviously you're working arms as well, but with the little ski handles. But I can't. I feel like I'm falling, just like my fear of treadmills. Like I hated treadmills, and I still kind of do. I hate treadmills as opposed to running, but if it's the weather's not cooperating, I won't run outside. But I feel like treadmill, all I'm doing is for minutes and minutes and minutes. I feel like I'm trying to avoid not falling down as opposed to running from point A to B.
It's kind of worse because it doesn't happen that often, but a few times a year now.
Yeah.
I think the more I get older, I feel like I'm almost going to fall in the shower. Like if I shut my eyes at the wrong time while I'm turning around in the shower, I almost lose my balance. It's kind of embarrassing.
Let's be honest. Shutting your eyes at the wrong time of anywhere in life now, we just assume we're going to die. Yeah. This is the one.
You might lose your entire equilibrium.
I know a couple people that are big on the sneezing in the car is the most terrifying experience in the world, especially because the pre-sneeze where your like eyes are like squinting, you're like, I can't do this right now. There's like a stoplight coming up and intersections and pedestrian crosswalks, and then my body wants to shut its eyes.
That brings up something I'd like to catch up with you then, because I remember when we were young, you would get terrible nose. I remember one time you sneezed or something, and it came out like a huge blood clot of chunk coming out.
I think that was the one.
You get the gnarliest nose.
I think that was the one in marching band.
Yeah, just like.
And mind you, folks, we had white gloves in marching band, so like could not set that up any better. It was like a hardcore wrestling match. Like someone's like, did someone just come up and slug Jeff in the face? Yeah, I used to get violent nosebleeds, and I don't understand why. And they could be triggered by things like sneezing. Definitely dry weather was horrible, but I could get them and they'd be brutal. Not a hemophiliac or anything like issues with clottings. They just happened, and they've really subsided. I don't know if I grew out. Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of work, but we did it. We grew out of bleeding from the nose constantly for no reason. So yeah,
it was literally like if you just flicked the tip of it, like you could start a nose.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I've grown out of that. I haven't grown out of like injuring myself. Like I'm healing. I got a cut healing on my finger from when I tried chopping an onion. I would say I have about a 60% success rate on chopping onions, and I'm not kidding. I'd say 40% of the time I chop a vegetable, I'm probably cutting my finger. Like, it's not good. Like, the percentages are really down. Like, it's not good. And I have like a mandolin and stuff too. But I was trying to cut. Actually, this one wasn't an onion. I was cutting a sweet potato in half, and they're very hard to cut. So I cut it in half, and then I was trying to cube it, and I got to one of the last lateral cuts, and the knife just slid off to the side and went right into my finger, and I'm like,
slid off. Oh my god.
Yep.
Man, that's rough.
So I still bleed a lot, just not from the nose.
Yeah, I'm not a very experienced cutter. I've done those like HelloFresh meal boxes before. I think we talked about. I take my time. Like if it says it takes 45 minutes to make this box, it takes me an hour and a half, twice as long. Because everything's, even though it's portioned out, I'm so slow.
Yeah, where's the time going?
I spread out everything across all counters, all tables. Like I can't do like two things at the same time.
So you're like inadvertently hosting a cooking show. Like you have it like all spread out and be like, no, here's where we have.
So it's like while you're browning the meat, do this. I'm like, no, there's no.
No, I brown the meat first, then I try to like put that on pause.
Or I do cut like all the vegetables first, but I'm taking I have like one knife style. I just do I pretend like I know what I'm doing and just have like the pivot point.
Sure. Which works with a lot of vegetables, but not all, not if they're tough.
Yeah. But if I have to like earnestly cut a bunch of pieces, I'm going slow. I don't trust myself.
Yeah. I'd rather save the time and deal with the injury. That's fine. We have different priorities. That's fine.
Yeah. Little blood in your stew.
I'm bad at taking my time with things in general. I'm more likely to rush through the event. Even if I have absolutely zero reason, I have nowhere to be, nothing to do, I will probably rush.
I've started to do that. I've gotten more comfortable at work. There's this machine called a Wave, and functionally it's like a cherry picker on wheels. You know, you just kind of the up and down. So you can like put some lighting or something on the ceiling. So yeah, something like that. Smaller version of that. And now I've gotten pretty fun. I mean, it's pretty fun to like drive it around, and I've got it to the highest speed now. Sometimes
in the grocery store while people are shopping,
starting to take chances. Not that it's super fast.
You're gonna hit someone. Maybe a child. Maybe an old lady.
Or I'm gonna hit a display.
No. It's gonna be a human being.
A couple of weeks ago, I was turning around and I hit one of the self-checkout machines really loudly. I was like, should have been more. Hey, where's my spotter on that one, huh? Nice one. Where are you on that one, dipshit?
Like you told me you didn't need any help.
Yeah.
You told me I was fired.
I like a little chance once in a while. Especially when it comes to speed.
Adventures at the grocery store, man. You got to have fun some ways.
Hey, it'll be on the company's dime. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Take that, corporate America.
I wonder if my voice is coming around. Hello, Juanita. One of my buddies was taking vocal lessons. His teacher told him, however you present hello, Juanita is your natural voice. So hello, Juanita. Hello, Juanita. So he would say that to warm up. Ooh, do stuff like that.
Hello, Juanita's.
Hello, Juanita. Hello, Juanita.
Yeah, that doesn't sound. It's not how you would say hello, Juanita.
Hello. Hey, Juanita. Hey.
Right. But Matt, you just said, hello, Juanita.
Hello, Juanita.
No one talks like that.
I know.
So you're doing it wrong.
I'm warming up still.
Why don't we get to the dice? Don't we have to revisit the dice?
I just had them in my hands.
Yeah, great. Super. Same page. We both feel that it was needed to move on. So what do we have? Remind the folks at home and the folk on the other side of this podcast. Remind everyone out.
So we rolled our conversation dice last ep, as we do, as a topic for our first discussion, which works. Very effective, huh?
Yeah.
Last time we rolled 3 words: impossible, film, and inanimate object. So I actually thought about a story last night, and it matched with these dice. I was like, holy shit, I gotta go look at the dice again. What were the words? So what it was, so impossible. So, it's kind of like a fun meme now, but like on the screen where they have like the DVD video and you wait for it to line up into the corner. Yeah. It's a fun game. They do it at festivals now, or
on The Office.
Sports games, stuff like that. On The Office, yeah. And it's like, you just that impossible lineup. See how I play that? Impossible.
Good.
We used to play a game. I don't know how we figured it out, but this would be like a late 20s, early 30s game. It was basically functionally a day drinking game. It was my brunching days, I'd say. We were very, very into brunch, Saturdays or Sundays, because there's a lot of spots in Austin where they're all competing, these spots. So they'd all have different like mimosa specials
Yeah.
or like, bottomless mimosas and a buffet. It'd be like $30. So you go there for 2 hours and just kind of get buckled. And then, it'd still be like 11 a.m. So you like go home and watch a movie and like, let's just keep the party going. Let's throw on, I don't know, Captain Phillips. That was hot at the time. Long, dramatic movie.
Yeah, right.
And
Woo!
on the TV, as we watch this film, we're going to put a mustache on the screen. And every time a scene lined up with the mustache, somebody was wearing the mustache, you'd drink.
That's pretty good.
It's like it was a day drinking game, or it could be a night. I mean, whatever. But
Duh.
I say
So
that
it doesn't work at night?
You can drink it anytime.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work at night though. I'll be honest with you. You can do it. It's just not the same.
Yeah, yeah. But it's very lively. It really gets you exciting. You don't even pay attention to the plot. We threw it on TV shows, reality shows. If you really wanted to get kind of turned, you'd put it on one of the thirds of the screen because that's where a lot of the shots are.
Yeah.
And then it was if someone already had a mustache and they had mustache on mustache, you had to drink twice, drink double.
Mm.
But really fun game. Fun game. I recommend it to you because it's dangerous. You can sort of pace yourself. You can throw a couple mustaches onto the screen. Play with it. See what's comfortable for you.
Yeah, maybe a hat. Would a hat even work? Never mind.
Ooh, hat could be fun.
Okay.
Well, the original mustache we made, we cut out a paper and just put tape on.
Wow,
it.
back in the day, right? When times were tougher, like the prototype mustache. Yeah, you had to cut it out of paper. That's all we had.
We'd shave all of our hairs and put it on.
Hopefully, just mustache hairs.
Hopefully. And then we found somehow at like a dollar store or something, or whatever grocery store online. I remember seeing like one of those kits that kids use where you can like put stickers onto books or something like that, and it had like an old timey like
nice like a handlebar
Victorian
maybe?
mustache.
Oh, okay.
It just adhered itself to the TV just through static.
Yeah. God bless dollar stores and their, speaking of impossible, their impossible business plan. How do you even plan that? Like, what are we going to sell? We sure are. Well, yeah, but like what specifically? Like food? Yeah. Not food? Oh yeah. Party supplies? You betcha. Like, but then it's like everything too. Like were dollar stores the first Amazon as far as like where you could buy anything?
Yeah. Amazon IRL.
Yeah.
You get cleaning products. All of it is just really just probably from the same vat of bleach. Just comes out
including the food and stuff. Like just everything's from the same vat of bleach.
In the accounting office at work yesterday, one of the women put together like a little Easter. She puts candy in for like every holiday. Now she got like an Easter basket. And I was like, oh, where'd you get that? It's like the dollar store. I was like, yep, that makes sense. Then she had in there the strawberry hard candies that I haven't had since I'm like 5 years old.
That wrap to look like a strawberry?
Yeah. Yep.
Do those have names?
Yes. I don't even know. Just hard strawberries.
Yeah, but when you bite them, it's like that weird like gel in the middle.
I don't get it, but again, I think you can only find them at the dollar store. I'm pretty sure.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I wonder if they have the rights to it, but still haven't gotten around to naming it.
I think I don't remember if it's pre-COVID or what, but it was like a Dollar General, in Austin where nobody was working there. It was literally one woman. She was the manager, but also the only employee, so she was the cashier. And they went in and like the local news went in there to do a story. It looked like somebody's house got destroyed because she was the manager, the cashier, maintenance, everything. Like she got no support from the store. I think they basically were sabotaging her, but she was trying to run it, but it was just like a shit show, like clogged bathrooms. Just she couldn't merchandise anything, put anything on the shelves. It was kind of sad. I was like, I think that's the only way you can stay in business, though. Really, just have one person run it like an estate sale. Grab whatever you want. It's all $1. That's our model. Easy.
Not impossible. It's not impossible if you can dream big. Unlike A good segue. Another incomplete business model that actually I'm like, how's this ever going to be successful? And it wasn't. It died very quick. But speaking of film and impossible, and technically this is an inanimate object, I believe it was called Movie Pass, and it was
Oh, I
like
know.
back in like 2016. It was like $9.99 to see as many movies as you want in a month, and it was like you could see one movie a day. But Movie Pass, you signed up for it. They sent me a MasterCard thing, and you had to download their app. And the only way you could get tickets, you could get tickets to brand new movies at Regal. The only way you could do it is it had to be within a half hour of the movie starting, and you had to be within half a mile like of the movie theater, your location.
It knows.
You had to put on your location in the app.
What the fuck?
So I guess what the theory was is that they would sell you a ticket to like fill up the theater. That's why you only could do it like a half hour before the movie started if there was openings. So I'm guessing they paid minimal amounts to Regal to say, hey, we got someone extra in to this. So yeah, you could see a movie a day for 30 days that normally would cost $15 per movie for $10 a month.
It's basically a way to bring people in also to see movies that you'd never see in the theater.
Also correct.
Either.
Also correct.
Do you remember any highlights from your movie pass?
I was really proud that I was able to finagle and get in the Saturday of opening weekend for Infinity Wars. I'm like, that
would be almost impossible, huh?
But there was so many showings that I just took a crap seat at like a 2 p.m. showing or a 3 p.m. showing where I knew there would probably be availability. And so, yeah, I was able to get in. That was pretty sweet. But also I would say my favorite movie that I happened to see just because I wanted to see a movie, what I would have never seen otherwise, was Unsane. That was a pretty good like drama of like a news reporter trying to do a story on like a corrupt like mental health asylum.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up going into the asylum, and the whole time they're making her think that she's going crazy and seeing things and interpreting things that aren't there. And so the whole movie you're trying to determine, are they making her think she's crazy and she's not, or is she actually going crazy?
That sounds like an Amy Adams picture.
It was called Unsane. It's not Amy Adams, but she gives Amy Adams vibes.
Okay.
So yeah, I would suggest that.
Man, I haven't been to the movie theater. So in the post-COVID world, I've been to the movies one time. Not necessarily by choice. It's just
wow. So
I think there's a lot of things that I forgot.
You're one of those people killing the movie theaters. Good for you.
And the only time I went, it was with my nephew. So solid uncle moment to Sonic 2. So my only cinema experience has been Sonic 2. Jim Carrey's Sonic the Hedgehog 2, featuring Tails and Knuckles. Idris Elba as Knuckles.
Idris Elba is like, Knuckles?
Yeah.
Is there anything that man can't do?
No. He's solid. Solid Knuckles, too. And I went, I mean, not the most ideal movie you'd want to see at the movie theater. It's like your first,
You're like, we're back, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had
Dr. Robotnik on the big screen.
Yeah. It's like, I should go see Batman will be my first one, or Top Gun. Nope.
The Batman?
It was, Sonic.
Did you see The Batman?
I did. But I have the HBO thing now. So I'm so used to just, waiting for it to come out. Plus I needed breaks in it. I like the movie, but 3 hours, come on. I got to get up. I got to walk around.
Yeah.
I think every movie should have an intermission, honestly. You just have a built-in. If it's
100%. If it's over, I was just going to say, if it's over 2 hours, put in an intermission. Knock it off.
Sonic 2 hovered around that almost 2 hours. I got to say, maybe it was long.
A video game movie like Sonic, that should be like 83 minutes.
I know. I'm going to look up the runtime on it now as I talk about it. But it was
you're like,
I would say again,
the second act really pulls you in though in Sonic.
Much like the Wizard,
it really comes into its own.
It comes into its own in the last 20 minutes.
Like, are they going to get to California? I don't know. Are they going to? I don't even know
Let me
what the
see the
boards in
runtime on
Sonic were
this.
called. The
Yeah.
Casino Night or whatever the one in Sonic 2 was. I don't know. I still
But
don't
it
even
felt
necessarily understand what happened in Sonic. Dr. Robotnik like was turning woodland creatures into robots or encompassing them
right,
into robots.
right. Yeah, runtime 122 minutes
That's too much
for a
runtime. No.
kid's video
Nope.
game movie.
Nope.
So there I was with a kid who's really into it, just watching me watch it too, because I guess he had already seen it. So it was like the same
Wow.
week. That was the big shocker of everything was I was gonna go take him, and then
Do
he's like,
kids
"This is the
today
second time seeing it."
understand Sonic the Hedgehog? Is that still a thing?
I think I mean, he's like
He's
old enough.
he's not Mario. Like, we're not being like, oh, yeah, dude, Sonic stayed fresh.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't even know how much he actually plays it. He may have played it, but he just likes the merch and the look
Sure.
and the movies and the cartooniness of it, and how fast it goes and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, it was I don't even know if I'd recommend to watch it at all.
Sure.
I'd recommend just playing the game again. You know,
if you need your fix, but you want something different, play like Sonic Spinball or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, the Lost Genesis games that never got the
Mean
street.
Bean Machine.
Yeah, it's like a jacked up Tetris. Play it. You'll love it because you're a nerd.
will.
It's a stupid puzzle game. It's awesome, but it's awesome but terrible. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
I've been really into Tetris again in like the last 5 to 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
I got into it on the Wii because you got to use like the Wii controller sideways, so got really into it. Much better than it was as a kid. But yeah,
That's
Tetris
good.
Connected.
That's a game
Awesome
you should
game.
get better as an adult, as opposed to a lot of games where you can get shittier as an adult.
True,
That's one
yeah.
you should be better at as an adult.
Right? Yeah. But Tetris Connect, I think it's on. That would be one reason for me to get it. I haven't seriously considered the VR gaming world yet. I'm like, because it's got to keep getting better. It seems like every year there's a new like, Oculus or new something coming out, and then what's really the software for it? What games do you want to play? There's a lot of like roller coaster, horror games, shooter games. They usually look pretty clunky, but Tetris is one I think I could like really get
imagine
into.
seeing blocks
like
in front of you,
like Minority Report style.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be like? Is like you're like twisting like. All right, that'd feel pretty. That'd feel like you're in a movie about 2023 that was made in 1984. That's what that would feel like. Like this is in 1984. Like it's the Back to the Future complex. They're like, this is what 2015 is going to look like. And then we all came to 2015 and you're like, ooh, so close. We're only 10 Jawses behind.
I was watching a movie the other day called Strange Days. It's on HBO. I fell asleep to it. I don't know what that means. But it was made in 1995 with Ray Fiennes. And it's supposed to be super futuristic, post-apocalyptic world.
Why don't we
but
stop?
It was set
why don't we
in
pause?
1999.
Why don't we pause there and you tell me who Ray Fiennes is so that can matter?
Oh, yeah. He's Voldemort.
Oh, good,
that guy.
Good for him. Did he do other non-Voldemort things?
Now the new James Bond M or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So the English Patient.
Two series that I'm just not a big part of. I've never seen all
I've
seen Harry Potter's, and I've seen
like a couple.
3 Bond movies.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's a classically trained English actor who's got a swell head of hair in this movie, Strange Days.
Classically trained hair.
I'm into it. Might have been. I just loved the idea of like mid-90s future. You know what it meant, but it was only. But the future was 4 years into the future, and I was like, it's a bold move for a movie. Just go 4 years later.
Yeah.
And everything's completely changed. Everybody's got, I mean, it could happen now that quickly. I'm psyched for a world where I have a little computer in my brain, and I don't really have to do much thinking. Just random access memory. RAM. Hey, ram it. Why don't I ram it? Hey, who's Ray Fiennes?
Crickets.
Ram it.
Crickets. Oh, man. I just wanted it to be silent and have you just keep saying ram it for a while and make it awkward for people.
Would your brain still have to spell check itself, though? Would that be the issue? Or could you think it?
What?
Like if we had a computer in our brain,
yeah.
Do we still have to spell it in our heads correctly for Google to search it? Or can it tell just by our thoughts what we're looking for? Like if you didn't know who Ray Fiennes was, There's no way you'd know how to spell Ray.
It doesn't matter. Google knows what I mean. I assume Feins. I'll go with the German
I
spelling.
think it's like Feinnes.
Yeah, see, whatever. Google's definitely going to be like, okay, well, that's not a thing, dum-dum. Do you mean this guy? And I'd go, that looks like that could be what I mean. And then boom, Wikipedia, IMDb, you know, whatever, man. Ray Fiennes, cool. Good for him. Ray Finkel.
But then do you get into a situation where, is there an incognito mode for your brain where you should be working, but you're just like, hey, WWE Sable Playboy 1996. I forgot about that.
Right.
Let's check that up, brain. Let's look up these nudies from when I was a kid. It's like, oh shit, they know now. They know.
And you get a big like work site blocked, and you're like, nuts. Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't look forward to that. That sounds terrifying, confusing. So you really painted a terrible picture to say that you're excited about that.
Yeah, maybe I don't want it. Well, it's sort of like, I mean, back to Minority Report, it's kind of that thing. Like, is that good for the world if there's an agency that knows what we're thinking and can stop premeditated murder before it happens?
No.
But then it has to read into your mind all the time.
Right. No.
Okay. I guess I agree too.
Yeah.
There's
no point to life if everything is scripted or anticipated. There's literally you have gone into machines putting us into pods like the Matrix. Like there's no freaking point anymore. There's no literal logical reason for life if everything is mapped out and can be pre-anticipated. So why would that be a positive? There'd literally be no point to live.
And think about it for like presidential elections, like if you could see inside somebody's brain, actually. I mean, ultimately, you know, what's weird is we already know who these people are, and we just willfully, like,
we know
it's
I'm choosing bad person or bad person.
Yeah.
Literally, we have gotten to that point. Like ever since 2016, we have, as a collective whole, been like, dude, fuck it. Like honestly, like everyone's just been like, doesn't even matter anymore. We're gonna get literally, what was it? South Park mocked it with a turd sandwich or a giant douche
or something. Yeah,
we're choosing between a turd sandwich and a giant douche, and yeah, so everyone goes like, "Well, you're terrible, and you're terrible." All right, giddy up, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, fuck it.
Well, now, like, imagine presidential elections in 30 years from now, when every candidate's going to have a TikTok record and like Instagram record, Facebook record.
My god, it's going to be so much worse.
Douchey person.
It's going to be so much worse. It's going to be that kid who has videos of him unboxing presents or like playing with toys versus like Logan Paul's kid.
Then the question is, do you want somebody who has like kind of like cringy moments recorded on film, or do you want somebody who has none of it but maybe hasn't lived a life? It's like, you know, I think we will go with the TikToker, right? It's more relatable.
Yep, we're gonna have all we're gonna have access to all of their like child photos because their parents posted all of their pictures of them growing up all over Facebook. So we're gonna have a documented step by step of their life even before they ever wanted to be on camera. But that's okay because now everyone wants to be on camera by the time they're like 5. So now it's all everyone choosing to be. But I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fucking nightmare. Yeah, it's really gonna be mankind's time to shine. We're getting better and better at this whole life thing.
There is that right now. You know, it's kind of the beauty pageant syndrome for viral videos where you can tell parents are clearly making their toddlers say things.
Yep.
And it's supposed to be like a cute video of a kid saying, you know, I want steak and onions for dinner. And it's like, oh, you're so precocious. Why would you even say that?
You don't even know what steak and onions
are. Look at our adult toddler.
Or like, people posting be like, I can't believe my toddler just said like, if, you know, my toddler just said that like, if we just as mankind can learn to love one another, then there would be no need for elections and no need for a basis of capitalism. And we could live in communism and communism can work. If my 4-year-old can get it, why can't the rest of the world? And it's like, your fucking kid didn't say that. Your kid didn't say that. Your kid literally, I just saw them shitting themselves in the grocery store. There's no way that little gremlin said that.
So we'll have this generation of kids who, because like the child stars who go bad and kind of crash.
Yeah.
It'll be that, but
That's the standard.
kids who were never child stars
That's
at all. They
correct.
never even reached it. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to be fascinated by people who weren't child
Oh.
stars.
That's gonna be so fun.
Yep.
Do you have a hot recommendation for this week?
I do. This is in the realm of just wasting your life if you just want to watch something funny on the internet, entertaining, but kind of.
Yeah, speaking of internet stars.
Yeah. Not. Yeah. Good segue. Good segue. Good segue. I fucking hate the internet. Let me tell you something great that I saw on the internet. So, Cartnarks. Cartnarks is one of the greatest things on the internet. Agent Sebastian and his crew. So if you're not familiar, what Cartnarks is, and that's Cart, C-A-R-T, Narcs, N-A-R-C-S. What Cartnarks is it started with this one guy who goes around wearing a body cam and basically will be in the parking lot of usually a grocery store and will wait for someone to not return their cart to a corral or to the store. And he will run up with his little like airport landing like orange glow stick and go woot, 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 woot. And he will ask them about putting their cart back into the corral and why they aren't doing it. And if they refuse to do it, he calls them a lazy bones and he kind of keeps poking it. Well, the ones you obviously get to see are the ones where the people they can't even just leave and then leave. They just get so angry and defensive when in reality, it's the greatest thing because the purest concept is he's literally asking you to be a decent human being and put your cart in the corral. Somewhere I swear when we were real young in the 80s, maybe even early 90s, cart corrals weren't around. You brought your cart back to the store.
Damn, you might be right. I think you're right.
I think cart corrals came in like the early mid 90s. So those came and it was like
because it was already, or we can't trust you guys to bring it back to the store.
So someone implemented, hey, meet me halfway, right? That was the epitome of compromise. Meet me halfway. Take it up 6 spots. Thought we revolutionized the world. But as a cart pusher at one point in my life, like people still didn't use them and they don't. And it's just because you're a lazy piece of trash. And you could find a lot of analysis of that. But the reality is that it shows that's the last slice of humanity is because returning the cart to a corral doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Your job is done. But what it does is it's acknowledging that you're like, I'm going to get the cart out of the way of other people. And I'm going to give myself the easy access to not have to walk all the way back to the store, that far, far away store. I'm going to just put it in the cart corral so that it's not impeding a parking spot. It doesn't roll away and strike a vehicle and actually damage someone's property. And so he's exploiting the fact that as humans, we can't even fucking be bothered to return a goddamn cart to the cart corral because we're lazy pieces of shit. And so anyone who's exploited for being that and shamed to shit for being that person, I'm 100% on board. So if you also feel that way, watch some Cartnarks. You'll love it. People threaten him. The dude never loses his cool. It's beautiful. And I actually want to buy a Cartnark shirt, not only to spread fear and stare at people when I'm walking at the grocery store and I see them trying to not put a cart back and wearing that shirt, but also I want to support his cause because it's comedy, but it's also true. Fuck you if you don't put your cart back. You're a piece of shit. I'm saying it right now. You're a horrible human being if you don't put your cart back at the corral.
It is pretty low bar thing to have to do. I see it every day, obviously working at a grocery store, and it is, it's always funny you see the person who turns around and just kind of wishes it to the corral, basically. That's what they're kind of hopefully it'll end up over there.
If I launch it from here, it might get there.
I've seen some of those. I need to watch it more. The problem is it's a hard watch
because it's awkward.
It's like watching somebody get beat up.
It's like what Paul Rudd can do to you in movies when he says something so awkward that you're it's uncomfortable to watch it because it's so good.
Yeah, you're right. Because the ones he shows, because there's probably a bunch where people are like, "Yeah, I'll put it back," but the ones where people fight it, it's like I'm busy or I'm too lazy. Some people say I'm too lazy.
They threaten to hit him with their car. they'll stop their
Yeah.
car. Like, because what he'll do is if they start driving away, he'll be like, okay, just going to give you a nice magnet here. And he'll put a magnet on the body of their car that says, I'm a lazy bones. And so they'll stop, they'll freak out, they'll chase him around the lot. And I'm like, look how much energy you're expending instead of putting a cart back. Like, that's what's the beauty of it, is because you're exploiting. It shows how useless people are. And like, they'd rather defend instead of saying, you're right, I'm wrong, I should just put the cart back. They'd rather expend 20 times that energy defending why they're not wrong or their reasons why they're allowed to be wrong. And I think it exploits what a big problem we have with people today. And we can all reflect on that. We often get defensive on shit that we know we're wrong on. And it's a bad habit.
Yeah, I could just see that person. This one time I won't. 'Cause it's like a diffusion of responsibility kind of thing. Where I mean, I sort of did this when I did a little sketch show at Colgate University back in the day, where I fell into the snow.
Oh, I
face
love
down.
that episode.
Yeah. So the theory was, if you just fall down and a bunch of people are watching, nobody will really help you, and that's what happens. Because if there's enough people walking around, not one person will help, because it's like a little bit of responsibility off of everybody.
Someone else will help,
yeah.
or I guess I don't have time. What'll happen if I go over there?
Yeah. I'll have to post that on the YouTube. It's probably somewhere on YouTube.
I think it is.
But yeah, it's the same thing with cars. I mean, we in our parking lot now, at Old Weggies, we piloted a program.
Oh.
Where around the parking lot there's like a laser fence that's been put into it, so people can't take the carts anymore away from the parking lot. It locks the wheel, so people can't take it.
What? Dude,
Yeah.
Classic Wegmans, like thinking in 3023. So wait, every cart is has like a chip in it?
Each cart has a wheel with a chipped wheel, so that'll lock if you bring it past like the invisible fence.
How many carts a year were they losing? Do you have data on this?
A lot.
That people would just leave?
Like hundreds of carts we'd lose.
Really?
Each cart, a big cart costs like 300 something
Holy
bucks.
shit.
A small cart costs like 200. And people, we'd find them like all over town. I think we'd pay people who had a pickup truck to go pick them up. I mean, miles away across town. Or, they end up in the outlet in the rivers or something like that at the lake.
That's amazing.
But people still had the audacity to get angry and call us and be like, hey, what's wrong? I can't take this cart home with me. You guys are assholes. I'm going to call Wegmans corporate. It's like, no, I always bring it back. I always bring my cart. How am I supposed to get my groceries home if I can't take the cart? And it's like, well, it's not your cart.
All right, buy a cart.
Here, we have the carts you can buy and bring home.
Wait, you guys even offer carts to buy?
Yeah, like the ones, like the little, like old lady kind of two-wheel steel carts.
The walker
that you can
carts,
just drag behind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about a sign-out rental program? Has Wegmans considered that? Yeah. Wegmans is very proactive. For those of you that are not from, upstate New York, certainly, but even I believe they go trickle down as far as Virginia, North Carolina now.
Yeah, talks are going all the way down to Florida.
Oh my God, in Publix territory, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wegmans is very proactive. They're the first to do a lot of different things with grocery stores. But that's wild. Yeah, why not like a rental program, like an assigned frequent shopper signed out, like put a VIN on the cart.
Yeah.
And that VIN traces back to someone.
You get the bonus insurance on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it happens. We have for a long time people were complaining, and they still do to this day. Like, why is this cart locked up on me? It's like, oh, because you were trying to take it.
Yeah.
From us. That's why it's not your thing. You can't just take things that don't belong to you. I know it's a weird concept. We also did the thing for a while. We had to stop it, but there was like you could scan your own groceries kind of thing, where you'd scan it, put it in the bag, and when you go through self-checkout, you just put your phone up to the self-checkout.
Oh yeah, I've seen those things.
Everything. Had to bail on that. Way too much theft.
Oh, they bailed on the tech?
Yeah.
Just not a thing.
It wasn't
anymore.
even like
people weren't even trying.
Even like the people you thought would, because the people you think will steal don't care anyway. They're not trying to like necessarily do something.
So was that provoking people, like new people, to steal? Do you think
it was like kind of like more like old white ladies to do it? Like that was the demo that was really messing with it, because they would like, I'm not going to scan this cottage cheese. It's like I'm going to get a bunch of stuff, but I'm not pay for like
Yeah.
a bunch of it. It's not the people who put stuff in their pockets and just walk out. Those people just still do that all the time.
Well,
It was more
yeah,
the
I mean,
it emboldened the
that's
people who
that's
maybe wouldn't
rarely
take that
that's
chance.
rarely the people
Yeah.
that you're trying to focus on deterring, because like that's not going to change how I do things. Wow.
We had a guy
Okay.
this week. So we have an AP there, like asset protection. So usually I have to walk with them. Like you have to have a witness or double team somebody to approach them because like a lot of liability stuff and legalities of accusing somebody of something. So we have to like build a portfolio on somebody. But last week there was this guy who came in. Somebody told me after it happened, it was like there was a guy who came in with the trash can, and then he walked out with it. And I'm pretty sure he put stuff in there. And I was like, wow, that's a bold move. So we went up and looked at the camera footage. And sure enough, he walks in with a trash can, puts like steaks and salad in there, then just walks out. I was like, wow, he's very recognizable too. So the next time he came in this week, a few days ago, he came in, did the same thing. He walked out. And you're like,
Did anyone
hey,
stop
bud.
him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We stopped him. We called the cops too because they're like, let's just do it. Let's get it done here. Because the best thing you can do is trespass somebody for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
After 2 years trespass, you don't have to deal with it anymore.
True.
Whether or not they're like fucking with employees or something like that. But this guy was so easy. He got to him, was like, hey, you got those steaks? He's like, yeah, man, I'm hungry. I'm like,
Cool.
okay.
Right. Yeah. No,
I'm
I know what
sorry.
steaks help with.
I know. Like, I don't even buy the steaks in these like pre-made salads when I'm hungry. Like nobody ever steals like rice and beans or something that can get you going for a while. It's like $40 ribeyes
Right.
and like $12 pre-made salads.
Yep.
And it's like I could understand if you were really gonna like get sustainable items that you could have for a while. Like stealing steaks. Maybe it makes me sound like an asshole, but I'm like,
No.
we didn't prosecute him. We're like, hey, just get trespassed. We weren't gonna be like too mean to the dude. But
Yeah.
it's very bold, some of the stuff we see, especially in Auburn, prison city, as it were.
Well, there you go. They're like, well, it's not like I have to leave home. You know, the term like
Yeah.
you're going to go away for years. No, I'm not. I'm going to go right over there. Literally like 5 blocks away.
Yeah, and Auburn it's kind of like the very definition of America because sometimes it feels like there's almost no middle class. It's like either like everybody, is on some kind of like social welfare program, or everybody or the other half all has like $1 million house on the lake. It's like such a divided city in terms of like its demographics that
Yeah.
the Wegmans here is really just a hub of it.
Yeah. I mean,
So
where I'm living is suburban, outside of Philly. It's greater Philly area. South Jersey it's not too big city or anything like that. I mean, my specific town is very small, but Cherry Hill, which is close by, that's kind of similar to Auburn size or something like that. I mean, yeah, we get characters. I definitely have more transient people walking by my house than I am used to, because we live near a train station, the Patco, which runs east-west, so it goes from South Jersey into Philadelphia. That's its purpose, is to get people from South Jersey that work in Philadelphia a way to take mass transit into Philly. So we live a block away, which is handy when I want to go into Philadelphia, because if I don't want to drive, I don't have to. But it's it's kind of tough to call anything middle class around here. I don't know.
I would say this can lead into my recommendation, which is that
Oh.
everybody deserves to be treated like a human being. And I think it kind of is an offshoot of the cart narcs as well, which is it really doesn't take a lot of effort to do good things for people or small things that go a long way. And people are wildly impressed by it. And it also like can help your own mental health. So I've adapted in my life to now, like, especially just in terms of like physical space. Now, just let somebody in front, let somebody merge, open the door for somebody. Wherever your physical space is, allow for somebody else to take it first. Number one, because it's a good thing to do. It's courteous to your fellow man, woman, child, dog, and over time it just relieves so much stress off you. So now I don't get mad anymore. Now, like if somebody like either cuts me off, because in my mind I'm already planning to let somebody through. If somebody isn't willing to grant me that, it's no sweat off my back because I already have that in my mindset of like they're going to take the space, and no, I'm going to allow them this space. Um, whether it's somebody, one of my favorite characters in life is the person who walks across the crosswalk really slowly, like they got one over on you. You know, they're taking their time and they're like making you wait. That's their move of the day to fuck with society.
Mm-hmm.
But when they do it to me, I just wave. I'm like, have at it, man. It's your right away. Please enjoy this space that I'm granting
Maybe
you.
it's an opportunity, right? So that person now doesn't realize like what we could try to do from here is make an opportunity to be like, you're slowing me down. I just told you I'm literally constantly in a rush for no fucking reason because my brain thinks I should be trying to be. If it's almost like you blindly think of it as trying to like feign efficiency. I'm trying to be efficient. Yeah. So like, which means just do it as fast as you can. But anyone logically knows that efficiency has nothing to do with speed. So maybe this person is now telling me like, no, slow the fuck down. You're going to get home 5 seconds later and it doesn't matter. It literally has no effect on how the rest of your day is going to go.
It's
I'll try to buy into this recommendation, but it's going to be a struggle.
It's a low bar for altruism.
Yeah,
know?
It is.
Like you barely, it's little resistance.
and it's the lowest bar of altruism.
Yeah, it really is. But there's a lot of studies that say, I mean, altruism is good for your emotional, mental support or health, like that you're part of a society and you're having a positive impact on it. Also just like, I mean, I'll do it even in a line. Like if I go to, you know, Marshall's, the big clothing store in town, there's always a line there. And it's going to be, you always got to expect there's going to be like 14 people in line in front of you. But if you go in there knowing it, you know what? Sometimes they'll be like, hey, you got an extra candle there. Go ahead.
You know
it's going to take me another minute.
I have a defined business that is the best at inspiring customers to let other people in front of them in line. I don't think this place that definitively I have been let in front of other people in line more than anywhere else by a noticeable margin, probably 4 times as often. And
let me see if I can get
okay. And I think it's the way the
people are incentivized to do it.
Not incentivized, but the way the business runs, I think people see it as not as big of a deal to let someone else go in front of them.
What is it?
It's Aldi. Okay. So Aldi not having their violently fast checkout system.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I got a cart down here and the person's like, don't talk to me. Hurry. They're like, don't talk to me. Don't make eye contact. I'm going to scan all your crap. I'm going to huck it in this cart. You're going to go away over to the bench and load up your groceries. So I think with how fast lines move at Aldi, people are so much more friendly with, if I have a few items in my hands and they have a cart, they're like, go ahead. Because they know it's a fraction of difference because of how short of time. And again, because of the anxious and fast person I am, I'm like, cashier, just keep going. I will bag as quick as you can scan it. And I'll get my card in there so that this is the fastest transaction. But I mean, that's a part of why I love Aldi, but maybe, I mean, it's kind of counteractive to what you're saying, where it's like, just slow down and take your time with stuff. And Aldi's like, yo, you got somewhere to go, chief? I'll get you there.
And it's also, it's like a mindset thing too. Like I see it, you know, like Wegmans, obviously. I always get impressed by somebody because it doesn't happen that much, or somebody's like, oh yeah, just go ahead. Like I'm not in a hurry. We're here, like everybody's in a hurry. And I'm like, where are you? It's 10:30 in the morning. What else do you have to do? Just record Price is Right. And you can watch it without the commercials later. Like, just have yourself a day. Let yourself have it, you know? Just be in the moment. But yeah, I think that's part of it too, is it's small amounts of courtesy and altruism, but ultimately taking that, like, I don't know, this clutter in your mind of needing to be somewhere quicker or what can become anger, just kind of let it. I mean, it's taken years and years to kind of do that. And it's not perfect, obviously. I'm, you know, sometimes I'm really in a hurry and it sucks and I hate it. Somebody's really a jerk. And that's when you need people like Cartnarks in the life that
absolutely keep you in check. Public. Keep you in check.
Yeah. All right. You know, how do we feel about a morning pod? I say I'm finally starting to wake up.
You know what? I mean, I've
been in a blur the whole time.
I'm good with it. I can handle the situation. I like mixing it up. I like plans and schedules, but I also like mixing it up to a lot of extents. I like to take myself out of rhythm sometimes. So I
Mhm.
like a good morning pod, and I know that for your schedule, if it's not on a day off, that's kind of what we're left with.
Yeah.
But that's fine
I
with
like
me
mixing it up.
as long as I am available. You know, it was easy to start this during the winter time, but in the spring, I'm not gonna lie, I do get busier. I travel and stuff, but I am always willing to do bootleg recordings. If I don't have my normal stuff, I can record in any
Yeah.
manner. So we'll keep it as an adventure, but we'll always try to produce quality content. Maybe not the quality
Yeah.
of the content's recordings, but we'll always try to give you some.
It will be
It will be
content.
content, quality,
Mhm.
or because sub quality, bad quality is still quality.
Yep. Wait till you comment section. Wait till you guys see what we got in store.
Oh
I
man,
mean,
it's huge.
a year from now, it'll be pretty fluid.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
have it
yeah.
down.
We'll probably like fire it up on the first try on some days in a year.
Yeah.
Um, it's time.
It's hello, Juanita.
Hello, Juanita. How now, brown cow?
And our conversation dice roll for episode 6. Mother. Oh, let's get into
Oh,
it.
moms.
Mommy issues. Soon.
Mother
Kind of a random
soon. I'm not sure what that
Mother
normally provokes.
Soon. Home.
Wow. All right.
It's weird how some of these come together, Mother, home, soon.
Okay.
Home soon, mother.
Well, who knows what
Home
that's?
soon,
I mean,
mother.
the easy default would be, does that bring in Sharon and Lisa into the convo? I'm sure it will. But maybe some other stuff, some general things. Yeah, we'll see. That's going to be an interesting convo. Recap on ourselves, but
Yeah.
each of our mothers were big parts of obviously our own lives, but of each other's as well. So it'll be
Maybe we could talk about how they would let us ride our bikes across town to each other's houses.
exactly
And didn't care.
Right,
It's
right.
That was just the way it was.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lots of entrustment. It's like, well, Jeff might get into shit, but Matt's a good influence on him. So it's like if I said I'm going to hang out with Matt, I'm more likely to get away with more stuff than going if I said I'm going to go hang out with this friend, because she'd be like, So
A lot of like, hey, can I stay over at Jeff's? Ask your mother, ask your father. It's like,
right. Just the answer is yes.
just
You
say,
know
like,
it is.
Yeah, I checked with him. Yeah, I checked
Right.
with him. Yeah, everybody's good. Everybody's
Yeah,
good.
because my dad doesn't want me because my dad doesn't want me going somewhere else and not being in the house.
Yeah.
But he was the one. Mom made those decisions. Let's be honest.
Yeah, how are you getting there?
Dad. Yeah, exactly. That was Kenny's big concern.
Yeah.
Do I have to?
It's not
Do
gonna be
I
me.
have to drive anyone anywhere?
Yeah.
No. Do whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you want. It does not matter.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about mothers.
Gold.
And we'll actually
All
do
right.
a 20-minute review on Danzig's song "Mother." That will be the main.
Ooh, that's
the
a good
main
one, too.
topic of it.
All right. Well, GG's. All right. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching or listening or spending your day. Thanks for spending your morning with us.
Or whenever you're listening to this. It doesn't really apply on podcasts, but thank you regardless.
That's how they work.
Yep.
Peace.
Later.
I've confused my priorities.